This makeup is proof that budget beauty can still feel high-end. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Carmel, and in today's video, I'm sharing with you some of my absolute favorite makeup products that are under $10 or 10 euros. So these products are absolute staples in my collection, and I'm really excited to share them with you. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please do keep on watching. You know, as well as I do, that drugstore prices have pretty much gone through the roof, okay? And especially when it comes to brands like L'Oreal, Maybelline, Rimmel, Milani. Milani over here, you're talking 20 euros a product. So we need to be really realistic about the brands which are accessible to us. It was really hard not to gravitate towards one particular brand because we all know that there are certain brands that we can go to and we can comfortably find drugstore products way under $10. So there are going to be brands in today's tutorial which you are going to see coming up on a few occasions in a few categories, but I'm going to try and give you a few different options as well. So I usually alternate between two primers. One is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, definitely not under $10, but the other one that I use is this, which is the Embryolisse. Now this is much loved by well-known makeup artists such as Lisa Eldridge. It's an absolutely fantastic product. It's designed to be used under makeup. It's a primer, it's a moisturizer. It's so perfect. Now, this is not under $10. This is the 75ml, so this is the large one. But this one here is the 15ml, and this is about 8 euros. I tried to find it in the US. I couldn't find the 15ml, but I don't know where I'm looking when it comes to the US. Not a little clue. If you can tell me where to find that, you let me know. So I'm just going to prep my skin with that because I have super dry skin, so I need all the hydration that I can get. I think primer is a tricky category, especially because we all have different types of skin. So what works for me and my dry skin won't necessarily work for you and your oilier skin. But this is really a fantastic product, but obviously it's a little bit more on the pricey side. There are two categories that are always pricey when it comes to makeup, and I feel like primer is one of them, and the other one is the next category, which has really caused me anxiety, and that is eyebrows. This category, I don't know why I'm always surprised, but when I do a video like this, when I'm looking for more affordable products, I'm always absolutely flabbergasted at the prices of brow products. I honestly, I have to be real with you, I tend to use the same brow products all the time, and I have to use a brow pen. I do not have a brow pen under 10 euros. In fact, I only have one brow filling product that I use under 10 euros, and I got it out to use it, and it's empty. So I know I was using it a lot and I was carrying it around in my handbag and it must have snapped off. This is the Essence Micro Precise Eyebrow Pencil, and I only noticed when it was too late. So it was too late to get another one. So I would have used this to fill in my eyebrows. So that's just me being completely real with you. I don't have any other eyebrow products, eyebrow filling products, pencils under 10 euros that I truly love. This was the only one, and I think this retails for about 3 or 4 euros, but I do have brow holding products that I can include in this video. Now, my current holy grail is this from NYX. This is the Brow Glue Crazy Lift. New holy grail. Absolutely adore this, but this costs about 12 euros. My next favorite is this. This is, oh, upside down. This is the NYX Brow Glue. This is the original. You can get tinted versions of this, but I have it in clear. This retails for about $10 on the nose, okay? Brow products are pricey. They are so pricey, but I really enjoy this. So it's just a gel. I don't enjoy it as much as the Crazy Lift. The Crazy Lift is phenomenal, but I think this is great because it does come in tinted options for other people, but the Crazy Lift doesn't. I'm sure that they will bring out some tinted options at some point though. But this does a really nice job at keeping the brows in place. And this is great because it really does keep your brows in place. I mean, honestly, I would say if you could spend the extra couple of quid, get the Crazy Lift. The only thing is this applicator is much better than the Crazy Lift. So, you know, if you could combine the two of them, the Crazy Lift formula and this applicator, that would be perfect, but it probably wouldn't cost under $10. So we're going to do a little bit of colour correcting with the Essence Correct and Conceal. This is an amazing little colour corrector. So it retails for about $5 or €3 or €4, if you can believe that. So I have this in the shade medium. This is so lightweight. It does an amazing job at neutralising that darkness. It's an incredible product and I feel like not enough people talk about it. So that's the shade medium. And yeah, it is fairly peachy, to be fair. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit on my ring finger and go in under my eyes. I couldn't believe this when I first used this. I couldn't believe what a great job it did under my eyes. So obviously this is my darkest eye and I'm just going to tap this in. So good. And for $5, this is a steal, honestly. So I'm just going to bring it all the way into the inner corner there, because I'm dark everywhere, of course. It's so hydrating and serum-like. That has done an amazing job. Obviously, it's not eradicated every single bit of darkness, but from what we started with, incredible. Absolutely amazing little product from Essence. We're going to go in with concealer now, and I did really and ah about which product I was going to choose, and I kept chopping and changing my mind, but I decided to go ahead with this one, and I'm going to explain why I was a little bit conflicted about including it. I'm going in with the Catrice True Skin High Cover Concealer. This has always been one of my ultimate top drugstore concealers. So this retails for about $7 or €4. It really is a steal. And it's absolutely gorgeous. It would pass for any high-end concealer. And the reason that I did and ah about including this is because Catrice have actually discontinued the True Skin line, or so they say they have. So a lovely viewer of mine, Harry, did tell me that they discontinued the True Skin foundation. And so I did contact Catrice and ask them if they are discontinuing True Skin, and they said yes, they are discontinuing the line, which is an absolute travesty in my opinion, because my gosh, the True Skin foundation, I adore it. I adore this as well. However, this is still very much readily available. So it's still available online. Anywhere that you go, this is still available. So whilst it's still available and it's still in the shops and still online, I'm going to recommend it. So I have this in the shade Warm Beige, and that's the shade Warm Beige. And I guess, look, the problem with Catrice products like the True Skin line is the shade range is pretty appalling. It's pretty bad. By the way, can I just say I love this doe foot applicator. See how it moves there? And it's really, really flexible, so it's great for getting into those hard to reach areas. So I'm going to go in under the eyes, and do you know, I'm glad I've decided to include this because it really is phenomenal. And you know, just because it's being discontinued, it doesn't mean that we can't still use it. And I'm terrible for that. When I hear that a product's being discontinued, I just abandon it in my drawer. I don't know why I do that. Maybe because I'm angry about it. So I'm going in with my VK Beauty A506 brush. I'm just going to tap this out. So this is marketed as a full coverage concealer, but I would say that this is more on the medium side, and it is ultra hydrating and doesn't crease. It's just gorgeous, and it's extremely buildable. And for the price, I mean, goodness, this absolutely could be a high-end concealer, and there's a reason why it's such a cult favorite. Honestly, it's a fantastic concealer. If you can get your hands on it, I really do think you would love it. There's absolutely nothing cakey or creasy about this one. It's fantastic. So we're moving on to foundation now, and as soon as I knew I was going to do this video, I knew which foundation I was going to use immediately, and it's this one from Wet n Wild. This is the PhotoFocus Dewy foundation. This is so high-end, honestly. It's absolutely fantastic. So I have this in the shade Classic Beige. Have you noticed that all my shades are beige? I said this before, I think it's a reflection on me and my personality. So the only negative I have about this, well, there's two negatives I have about this foundation. Number one is this. Why do I need a spatula to put on my foundation? I don't need it. I need it about as much as I need a dropper. The other thing that's annoying about this foundation is the shade range. So it is fairly poor. Now, obviously, I have dry skin, dry mature skin, and this is fantastic for that. In order to like this foundation, you have to like a glowy base. You have to like a dewy complexion. Having said that, we are going to be powdering the face today, so it's not going to remain super dewy. So that's the shade Classic Beige. And it's very, very neutral. I'm going to apply this with my BK Beauty A101 brush. So they do a matte version of this, by the way. I've obviously never tried that because I don't like matte products. But if you've tried the matte version, definitely let us know. This is just a gorgeous product. And every time I wear this, every time, I am always amazed. I will stand by this opinion. This for me is 100% a dupe for the Armani Luminous Silk. 100%. Absolutely. Oh, I didn't even see the price of this, did I? Found this for $7.49 in the US, and it's €5 to €8 over here in Ireland. So I would say this is a hydrating, dewy, glowy, radiant foundation, and it really is just made for my skin type and my preferences. So I've just popped a little bit on there. You see how it looks? That's with nothing. Now, I will say that my skin is actually behaving itself recently. Touch wood, touch wood. This is a foundation that is very forgiving. And, you know, if I'm suffering with dry skin, I will reach for this because it will just immediately hydrate and moisturize my skin. And every time I use this, I just think to myself, how is this only €5? How? I don't get it. I don't understand how it's so inexpensive. So this gives me a really nice medium buildable coverage. It gives a nice radiant glowy finish, but it's not greasy at all. It's definitely in my top 5 drugstore foundations of all time. As I said, I do think it's a dupe for the Armani Luminous Silk, and I like it more than the Armani Luminous Silk. You never see me using the Armani because I don't really like it. No, I've used it. Of course I've used it. It cost me about £1 million, but I don't really like it. I would choose the Wet n Wild over it any day. We're moving on to some bronzer now, and we are going in with this from Catrice. This is the Catrice Melted Sun Cream Bronzer. I love bronzers, and I always forget that I have this one. So I have this in the shade Beach Babe, and it's just a really kind of, I'd say that's fairly neutral in tone. Maybe has a slight bit of warmth to it, which is what you would want from a bronzer. But I just love the fact that it's not too warm. I often find that with drugstore bronzers, they can be really warm, like too warm. So we'll pop a little bit of this on the back of my hand because it is really pigmented, as you can see. But this just blends like an absolute dream. This retails for $7 or €4. This is my BK Beauty 112 brush, just angled. And I'm going to pick some up on the brush, going on the face like this. And it's just really, really natural looking. It's stunning. And you know what it does remind me of? It's definitely a dupe for the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer, which, you know, I love that product. I love it. Now, it has a bit more pigment, but it is as hydrating. It sinks into the skin in the exact same way. It's absolutely gorgeous. As the Mario does, this just enhances your complexion without being muddy, without being cakey, without being orange or too warm. Look at that. Just pop a bit around here. And I'm just using up what I've got on my hand. Honestly, could pass for high end. I'm not even joking. I'm not kidding you. Catrice make the most stunning products. They really do. We're actually going to go in with 2 different types of blush. So a liquid blush, and then we're going to go in with a powder blush, because I just want you to see something which is at the higher end of our price point. So $10, and then one that is a lot cheaper than that. And I featured this a couple of times recently. This is the NYX Fat Cheeks Liquid Blush. This retails for $10, so right on the nose, or you can get this for €8 or €9. So I have this in the shade Fig Fizz, and this is a beautiful product, and it's beautiful because it's really sheer, so it's perfect for those low makeup days. So there's Fig Fizz, and you can see how absolutely sheer that is. And honestly, I've been really moving away from liquid blushes. In recent times, I've been preferring cream blushes. Just give me all the cream blush. I want it all. Just going in with my BK Beauty 109. And do you know, this liquid blush has definitely impressed me and made me want to use more liquid blushes. Now, I've used quite a bit there, but it's still just, look at it, it just sinks into the skin. Everything that I'm using here today is so super hydrating and really flattering. The only thing that I don't like about this blush is the fragrance, and most things that I'm using today are fragrance free, but this does have a really strong fruity smell. So if you're not a big fan of that, you might not like it. However, what I will say, it does disappear, so you can't continue to smell it throughout the course of the day, because I would hate that. Before we move on to some powder blush, I did just want to mention this absolute phenomenal little blush palette from Catrice. I didn't want to use it today because I'm using quite a lot of Catrice in the video, but this is the most phenomenal cream blush, and it is now available in the US, $8 for all of these blushes, and also kind of these highlighter balms as well. Absolutely stunning, absolutely rivals high end without a shadow of a doubt. So if you are looking for super pigmented blushes, and I will link these, I mean, just off the scale, but I just didn't want to use those again today. I wanted to use something a little bit different, and I wanted to give people who don't like cream a different option. So we are going to go in with a powder blush, and we're going to use this as kind of a blush highlighter type duo. This is the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush. These are absolutely beautiful, and you know what, I put off buying them for so long because it has very micro fine little sparkles in there. I thought, I'm gonna hate this. I'm gonna hate this because I have texture on my cheeks, but oh my gosh, it's so flattering. And then I understood why people adore this product so much. This retails for $6 or €5, and I have this, I think this is one of the lightest shades. It's called Pink Flush. You probably can't see that. It's definitely designed more for people with lighter skin tones to me. This is my BK Beauty 111 brush, and I'm going to pick some up on the brush and then just tap it on. And this is a great double for a highlighter. It doesn't emphasize all of my problematic areas, which I really have issues with. So don't be put off by how it looks in the pan. It looks like a highlighter, but not in a negative, texture enhancing way. I get the hype now. I understand why so many people love this product. And honestly, for €5, seriously, you cannot go wrong with this baked blush. It's beautiful. So we're going to move on to eyeshadow now, and I've always been really real on this channel about my experience with drugstore eyeshadows, and I do struggle with them, and I feel like it's really hard to find phenomenal drugstore eyeshadows, especially under $10. I want to share a couple with you that I've had some good success with. So I don't really like Wet n Wild eyeshadows, but I do really like these little colour icons. These are really good. I think they produce some really good little colour stories. So I was going to use one of those, but there's one brand that do eyeshadows from the drugstore, and I forget how brilliant they are, and it's the Catrice eyeshadow palette. So this particular one is called the Pure Nude Eyeshadow Palette, and obviously it's very neutral, very plain. You know, I like a bit of that, but there are different colour stories. This is very kind of neutral, maybe even cool leaning, but I just want to show you the difference between some swatches of, for example, the Wet n Wild to swatches from the Catrice. If we take, for example, this Catrice palette, which costs $6 or €6. So we'll start with the more pigmented ones. And, you know, if you go to some of these, look at that. You can see the difference there with the payoff. And it's just, they feel so high-end, these eyeshadows, honestly. So I'm going to go in with this shade as a transition, and it's just a really neutral brown. There is a Mocha eyeshadow palette, and I wish I had that. I don't have this. I've had this for a long, long time. And I just wish I had that one because we could have created a really nice fall look with that one. But this just has really beautiful formulas in, and they're so easy to blend. And for the drugstore, I mean, they really do stand out, honestly. I'm going to switch to my BK Beauty N13, and I'm going to go in with the slightly deeper brown here. So I'm just going to push that into the crease. You can come up with such a really dark and smoky look with this palette. It's really lovely. There are 4 mattes and 4 shimmers in this palette. I'm going to go in with this darkest shimmer, and we'll just pop a little bit of that with my BK Beauty 209, just on the outer corner, just slightly, and we'll bring a bit of that under the lash line. We're looking a bit dark now, but this is definitely a deeper palette, but we can lighten it up, and we've got a lovely gold here that we're going to go in with. This has an amazing payoff. I don't get any fallout. You see, this is my problem with other drugstore shimmers, is I don't get this type of payoff. I have to work really hard with the shimmers especially. I mean, look at that. I've not even wet it, and it's just beautiful. Okay, I'm really happy with how that looks, but I'm going to go in now with the lightest shimmer in the palette here. For this, I'm going to take my BK Beauty A505. We're just going to bring that in the inner corner. Honestly, for €6, this is an absolutely fantastic eyeshadow palette. It might not be the most versatile. If you're looking for dark eyeshadow, something for fall, I think this is really nice. Moving on to mascara, and there is one mascara that I talk about day in, day out, and it's only €4, and it's the Essence Lash Without Limits. This is my absolute holy grail. Comes in black, comes in brown, but I'm not going to use that today because I want to maybe give you a little bit of variety. I mean, I'm fussy when it comes to mascaras, but the drugstore do mascara way better than high-end in my opinion. And I always love finding really good tubing mascaras. They give me all the benefits of a waterproof mascara without the hassle of a waterproof mascara. And Catrice have recently released a tubing mascara, and I can't tell you how incredible it is. It's the Catrice Stay in Place mascara, and this has just recently arrived in the US. So this retails for €6 or $7, and it is amazing. And one of my lovely viewers, Chrissy, actually commented on my latest community post saying that she actually thinks this is better than the Hourglass tubing mascara, and I have to agree. I would choose this all day long over the Hourglass. So it has a densely packed brush, and it's really, really skinny. It allows you to get right in at the base of the lash. So I just like to coat the tips of the lashes. And I like this because it doesn't dry down as quick as some other tubing mascaras can do. And then just going in at the base. My lashes are at a funny stage at the minute where they're kind of shedding really weirdly. So this is supposed to be a volumizing mascara, but I don't think it's super volumizing. I don't think any tubing mascara is particularly volumizing. This is not just my favorite tubing mascara of all time. This is one of my ultimate all-time favorite mascaras. As I said, it gives you the benefits of a waterproof mascara, but you don't have the issues with removing it. It literally just removes with either warm water or with normal micellar water. This is the one I use, which is just a Nivea Soothing Micellar Water. This is my holy grail micellar, and it comes off so easy with that or with warm water. So I'm going to be really, really predictable now with the powder that I use. It's going to be this. I know you're sick of it. It's the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus Loose Setting Powder, but it's the shade Soft Pink. So I was trying to rack my brains as to why I didn't like the original PhotoFocus Loose Powder, but why I love this so much. And they don't have the same ingredients. And this is also talc free, whereas the original isn't. So I'm going in with my trusty old Morphe brush, just an angled eyeshadow brush. I'm just going to go in under the eyes. This is great for brightening. It sets, it's blurring. And you know, I'm not the biggest powder fan at all. Don't love it, but I love this. And so this powder retails for $6 or €7. And this is not just good for under the eyes, it's also great on the rest of the face. So I'm going to go in around the nose. It is so blurring. Honestly, I can't tell you. And so many people have told me that they tried this based on my recommendation and they absolutely love it. But obviously, look, it's never going to be one size fits all. What works for one won't necessarily work for another. Okay, we're going to go in with a little bit of setting spray now. So this is another Catrice product that I've been banging on about, but I love it. I really like this. This is the Catrice Blend and Bond Setting Spray, and this retails for $8. So I'm gonna give it a little shake. I just love the finish that it gives to my skin. So it sets your makeup in place, but it gives you a really natural finish to the skin. I love the mister. The mister is really, really fine. It definitely gives like this beautiful filtered look to the skin. I've been really blown away by it. This is definitely a setting spray that has entered my rotation. I really love it. It's great. We are going to the higher end of our budget for lip liners, but I have to use these. It's the Maybelline Lifter Liners. No matter how many lip liners I try at the drugstore, none match up to the Maybelline Lifter Liners. The only negative for me with these liners is that the shade range is pretty poor, but there's a couple of shades that I kind of alternate between. The shade that I'm going to go for today is Out of Line. And you can see it's slightly warm Nude. So these retail for $10 or around €7. These lip liners are creamy, they're hydrating, they last all day. They really are as close to high end as you're going to get when it comes to lip liners. And actually, I prefer it over the majority of my high end lip liners. Okay, so for lipstick, now this is going to be a really interesting one because I've never featured this brand on the channel before. So this is a product from LA Girl. Now, my beautiful friend Jen at Jen D Beauty, I will link her channel down below. She always talks about LA Girl, but she's in the US and she can obviously get LA Girl really, really easily. We cannot. However, I went into one of my local drugstores the other day that I don't usually go into, and they had a little LA Girl section. And I couldn't believe it. Now, the prices were not as cheap as they were in the US. So a lot of products were over €10. But I picked up a couple of items, and one of them I've had for a little while now, and I really, really like it. This is the Lip Attraction lipstick, and this cost me, I think it was €7. And from what I can see, it's $8 in the US. So Nude is obviously a nude shade, and I'm just going to show this to you. Now, it's kind of pale for what I usually go for, but because I have the lip liner on, it's really nice. But I think for this, I definitely need to wear a lip liner with it. So this High Shine formula applies like a lipstick and wears like a pigmented gloss. You can see that it is fairly shiny, but at the same time, it feels really hydrating, super creamy. One of the creamiest lipsticks I've ever used. I think I'm going to go over with another lip liner. Again, the Maybelline Lifter Liner, but I'm going to go in with the shade On It because this is a little bit deeper. And I'm just going to go over what I've done. I think this is probably a better shade. I'll just show it you. It's a little bit deeper. It's a little bit deeper. So that's On It, and that's Out of Line, which I already had on. So I'm just going to go over what I've done. Yeah, I actually think that's a lot better. I think you need to be really careful when you're going in with a super nude lipstick, because if they're too pale, they can wash you out. I think I did mean to use On It actually in the first place, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I get those two mixed up. And as you can see with these lip liners, look, I've just wiped a wipe over them and they're still not budging. Can you see? You'd have to really, really rub them to get them off. So yeah, definitely no budge. So they are some of my absolute favourite makeup products under $10 or €10. Again, you do not need to be spending a fortune to find really, really good makeup. A lot of these are better than high end. So please don't think that just because you're paying more that you're getting better quality, okay? That foundation I picked up for a £5 and it's one of my all-time favourites, okay? So bougie on a budget is completely doable. So do let me know, have you tried any of these products or are you planning on picking any up? Let me know everything down in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video. But until then, take care and bye for now.